Hi, it's me again with CorelDraw Tips and Tricks. Somebody's trying to make a flower out of this shape, and I did it, and he loves it. He couldn't figure out how to rotate it and get it like where the petals are on top of each other. So we're going to Control D and make this duplicate, and we're going to put the duplicate right there on that node. We're going to rotate it 20 degrees. Now, I didn't make a duplicate, so Control D and make it 40 degrees. Or you could go back to 0, but then just Control D all the way around. Now, we need to make the outline thicker, but you can't cut an outline like you can this line when you change it to an object. So then we're just going to take the virtual segment delete key and delete this line, and 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 this line. So we're deleting every other line. So that's going to make our flower look like they're on top of each other when we fill them in. Because we're gonna, and then, but he wants the black line. So, and then you see we have the star pattern, and you could go through there and get rid of some of these lines depending on how big he wants the center of the flower. So we're just going to go ahead and delete these lines, and then almost through. That way, I didn't do it on the first one. Our inside of our flower won't have to be quite so big. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm not in the center of the page, so I'm going to group them together. I'm going to hit P, put it in the center of the page. I'm going to cover up all this. So I'm going to get the ellipse tool. I'm going to start right in the center, holding down the Shift and the Control button. And because they're grouped together now, we can take all of this, the weld tool will show up, and we're going to trim it. It takes out that center part. But now we need to turn these lines into an object, because if we don't do that, I'm going to change the nudge factor to 20. And I'm going to move that red deal out of the way. I think I nudged it, so I'm going to back up here. Yep, I've inadvertently moved it. Now what we need to do is go to object, and you see you cannot convert it to an outline, or the outline to an object. So we've got to go group and ungroup them, and then select them, and now we have 18 objects, and we can go and convert the outline to an object. But first, we need to make it thicker. So we're going to make, that's too thick. We're going to make it about that thick, and then we can go, and you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make 2 copies and show you why I'm converting them to an outline. Because now, this is just a line that's 1 inch. If we bring in the Smart Fill tool and bring in this yellow, it's going to take away some of the line. So I didn't really have to make a copy. I can just do this now. I'm going to take the red and nudge it out of the way. These are individual lines, so I can select them all. Make sure you get them all. And go up to Object, and now you see this is active where we can convert it to an outline. Then we're going to bring that red dot back in, and we're going to use the Smart Fill tool and fill it in. And see how now we can see the line between them, because the outline is, it's not an outline. When you fill in with the Smart Fill tool, it actually acts like it's a hairline. So when you make it an object, it's the true height. We're going to go and just use that orange. Whoop, we got a little leak somehow. Now, if that ever happens, move this out of the way and just color it orange and then put it back if you ever have a leak like that. Now, on this one, I made it quite a bit bigger and I didn't even get it all. So this is probably a better one for him. So, you know, cut out some of those nodes. Now, you could still do a little bit more with this. If we back up here, and this is just a suggestion. See, I'm creating an object, which was the Smart Fill tool. I'm going to take that away. So now this is still in the center of the page. I'm going to take my yellow. This will give it a little bit of, he might not want to do this, but we're going to get the interactive fill tool. And we're going to go just from here to here, and we're going to put a little bit of darkness in our flower. Now, if I bring this way down, it'll just barely, that doesn't really look that good. We could bring in another yellow and make it more yellow and have just a little bit of a darkness, and you could play around with that. Now I'm still working in the center of the page. I can turn on my indexing lines. I need to get them and then hit P to put them in the center of the page. This is why I work in the center of the page, because now we can actually, and if we look, we can move that out of the way, and we've just changed the fill. So we're going to Control D and make a duplicate of that fill. And we can't, there's a tool you could use that would copy the fill, but it wouldn't be in the right angle. So now we're going to rotate 20 degrees, Control D, and it just gives the flower a little bit of, and you could play with that a little bit, and then take this, get it out of the way, make it that orange. You could add a lot to that and put it there, and there you have it. So if you don't fill in the lines, or if you don't convert the lines to an object, it's quite a bit different. See, this says it's a curve, but it's a line. So that one, I'm going to leave that. This one, I'm going to convert to an object. And watch the difference between this one. See how it leaves a little bit of a line where this one leaves the entire line? That's because Corel is acting like this is still a hairline, and the object is stopping it. So if we grab that object, and if we left click, right click, you see you have basically two lines. So the Smart Fill is only going to that line, where this can still be a hairline. Well, I'm on the wrong one. This would, well, it is a hairline. It acts like it's a hairline. So there's a hairline of that fill, but this, Corel is actually acting like it's this. Because if you fill it in, you're going to get almost the same result. So convert them to an object, but you cannot convert them as you're making them. You got to go back and ungroup them, because for some reason, if you do this and convert it, well, let's make this thicker. Let's make it like that 1/2 inch, and let's make it an object. So now that I said that, watch it work. So if I make a duplicate and I try to cut out this line, it cuts out the whole thing, because it's cutting the object and not cutting the line. Where if I had not made those a line, see, you can see they're a line there and not an object. Rectangle on layer 1. So if I make a duplicate and now I cut that line out, it'll just cut that line. Well, now it's making a liar out of me. Let me make sure. Yeah, this is, I didn't go back far enough. There we go. Now let's make it that 1/2 inch. Control D and cut that out. So that, see, even the indexing line is stopping it from cutting. Anyway, I hope that helped him a little bit, and thank you for watching.